Okay. I was really gonna try a virtual background in this
Okay,
place.
good
It's too
evening,
much.
everyone. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, we are starting a bit late. Slept off a little while. But right now we are live. I'm here with Don Lee, and I'm glad that we are live right away. Okay, so without wasting much time, Don Lee is going to take over from me to teach how you can make money from your voice. Um, how you can make money from your voice. Danley is ready to teach us and to share with us how that is possible and the possibilities and the prospects and everything in between. Danley, you're welcome. Good evening. Good evening, Danley. Danley, can
Good
you hear
evening.
me?
Good evening, sir.
No. Thank you
Yes,
so
I can hear
much.
you.
Yeah. All right. So, Danley, without wasting much time anymore, I'm going to leave the stream and then you can go ahead to teach. So, guys, you are all welcome. Um, you're all welcome to this live stream. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's know where you are tuning in from. Let's know in the comment section where you are tuning in from. And then go ahead to share this live stream so that other individuals can participate in what we are sharing today. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. Share this live stream also. Invite your friends, invite all the great people that you know. Let them be part of the live stream so they can learn how they can utilize their own voice to make money. All right, so over to you, Darnley. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Let's go ahead and you go ahead now and teach us and share with us for the next 30 to 45 minutes. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for the platform. I really appreciate. Good evening, everyone. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Donley Uche, and others call me the Voice Mayor, and that's the name I have come to really like as well. So I'm a full-time voiceover artist, but how did it all begin? My journey in voiceover started way back in 2009 when I had an accident that almost a near death accident, an accident. Yeah, let me put it this way. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. Okay, let me take it slowly. I had an accident, a near fatal accident that almost caused me my ability to speak. And when I recovered from that, I was recovering from that accident and I discovered this thing called voiceover when I was flipping through the pages of a magazine. Now, prior to that time, everyone used to tell me that I have a great voice and I should be on radio. And I really thought about that. I was really considering getting on radio. And yes, I did get on radio. But you see, radio was not really, it was something they sold to me. Voiceover is something that I sold to myself. So, recovering from that accident, anyway, it was by the power of God that I recovered my speech, I regained my speech. Recovering from that accident and flipping through the pages of a magazine in the same month, I saw this thing called voiceover, that people could actually earn from voiceover, and I was sold, you know. So I started doing a lot of research. Back then, I had a Java phone. 2009, we didn't have all the Android and iPhones that we have nowadays that could really, you know, let you stream videos or, yeah. So it was a Java phone that I had back then, and I was using it to research as much as I could about voiceover. I saw one, there were two challenges. Studio equipments were super expensive back then, and also I didn't really know who could guide me. I didn't there were not many people I could see around to hold my hands and show me where to start or how to do this thing called voiceover. So it was a passion that I had, and I stayed on with that passion for years. Then I got on radio in 2015. While I was on radio, radio was fun, but you see, I really wasn't getting the fulfillment that I wanted out of radio until 2017. Mind you, remember I said I kept learning, kept researching with that Java phone. 2017, I had some level of confidence and I got my first gig within a few months of stepping out, no, within a few weeks of stepping out, I got my first gig. I earned 15,000 from that gig, and I was really amazed. It was a surprise to me that someone could actually pay me 15,000 to do voiceover. I was really I didn't expect it. But you know what that did to me? I realized that if one person could pay me 15,000 to do voiceover, then there were more people out there who could pay me to do voiceover. So 2019, I started doing voiceover full time, and I've been there ever since. I I have my home studio just right across this room, and that's where I work from. I don't have to go out. So why am I doing this? This I'm doing this session. I decided to come live and talk about voiceover for two reasons. You see, it's 2023, and it's no surprise to me that people still ask me, what is voiceover? That's one side of it. And then there's also people who come to my DMs to ask me, how can I get voiceover work? How can I get started in voiceover? So that's why I'm doing this meeting. And by the way, if you have questions whatsoever, I would love to read them in the comment. You can send them in the comments. I would love to read them. And yeah, so let me address the first set of people, the first question that I get a lot, even in the just concluded Dominate in Business that we had today, Dominate in Business Lagos. I had people asking me, what is voiceover? Well, voiceover is an art. It is, let me put it in layman's language, it is acting without showing your face. I always say that what we do as voiceover talents, we voiceover talents are not, you don't see us, but what we do, our product, the product of voiceover is all around you. When you listen to jingles, when you listen to documentaries, when you watch cartoons, even the ones you play for kids, it's not those are not all kids' voices. Some of them are done by adults who can really act. And it's about bringing that believability even without having to show your face. That's what we do as voiceover artists. And so the job cuts across various industries and genres. Too many to mention. If I must say there are too many to mention, but I could try to list just a few. You have commercials, which almost everybody knows. You have documentaries, you have audiobooks, you have animation, you have e-learning, you have IVR, ADR. I mean, there's just a ton of work. There's the voice of God. There's a lot of, I mean, I could literally list 3 to 4 dozens of genres in voiceover, and not one person is capable of doing all of that. Not one person. Now, the average person just knows about 20% of all the jobs that exist in the voiceover industry. But there's so much more. Now, what are the types of jobs, by the way? In all of these genres, you have broadcast and non-broadcast voiceover. And broadcast makes up for the 20%, which almost everybody knows. It's just the usual stuff, the what I call it, the commercials, the documentaries, of course, those regular stuff you see on radio, those regular stuff you see on TV, those are broadcast voiceover. And then there's the non-broadcast like e-learning and audiobooks and so on and so forth that most people don't know, and most people are still. Let me tell about audiobooks alone. Only 20% of audiobooks of only 20% of all books in existence have been recorded in the form of audiobooks. This is just to give you an idea of what's possible in the voiceover space. Now, I work from home as a voiceover artist. As a voiceover artist, I work from the confines of my home, and I'm able to work for clients in and outside Nigeria. So people often ask me, how do you get into voiceover? I say there are two ways. You can either get a coach, or you can watch YouTube videos. Now there are tons of there's a ton of resources out there. Unlike when I started in 2009, when I wanted to get started in 2009, there's a ton of resources out there, and you could literally get confused. You could literally get overwhelmed trying to go through everything there is out there. They're not very much organized, and there's a lot of thoughts here and there. This one says do that, the other one says don't, no, do this instead. There's another misconception a lot of people one misconception a lot of people have about voiceover. Before we even talk about how do you get in, people often think that um, so people ask me how to get started, and they ask me if their voice can do this job. So one misconception is a lot of people tend to think it's just so much about the voice. It's not all about the voice. Voiceover is not just all about the voice, because an average voice can do voiceover. It's about acting. It's about being able to really embody a character. It's about being able to sound convincing. And this is why AI cannot, possibly even um, this is why AI cannot possibly take on the voiceover market. As as it as it may appear right now. It may seem like AI is taking some of the jobs. Yes, AI is taking some entry level jobs in voiceover, but for the most part, AI is overrated. Please, babe, please turn on the air conditioner. This place is really hot. Sorry. And give me my hanky, please. So I have to tell you that if anything, AI is overrated. It's it's taking while it's capable of taking some, entry level jobs, but there's a ton of work that AI cannot that remain untouchable for AI. I'll give you an example. Um, Audiobooks, adverts, effective adverts. This is for brands, for businesses. A lot of business owners are not being effectively educated. They're not getting adequate information, especially from people who make videos for them. They just tell them, "Oh, we can AI the voice." But the truth is, you don't know what that is doing to your brand. You don't know what it's doing to your brand perception. It's giving people the impression that you're cheap. You don't care about quality. You it doesn't There's no authenticity to that voice. There's no real connection. Check it. I mean, feel it for yourself. Next time you hear those AI voices, and I'm pretty sure that the average person can tell. Next time you listen to those AI voices, ask yourself this question, which I always ask people: does that voice make you want to really put your hands in your pocket and and buy into whatever it is they're selling? More often than not, the answer is no. It's not convincing. It's not authentic. And so it leaves that perception of your brand that this person doesn't care about quality. And so if we patronize this person, I mean, they could just treat things anyhow. They just want to take our money, and whatever it is they claim to be delivering, whatever it is their business promises, cannot be cannot be absolutely relied upon. So moving on, let me tell you why voiceover is an interesting place to be. Voiceover can help you put food on the table. I started out in 2019. I started doing it full time since 2019, and voiceover is what has been paying my bills since 2019. Remember, I don't have to, and I also let me also add that I haven't seen 90% of my clients. So that means I work from home. I get to work from home. Today, I was at Dominate in Business. I was the co-host at Dominate in Business. It's because of things like that that I get to go out once in a while. Because of voiceover, I don't have to go out. I can work from anywhere in the world. I can work from a hotel room. I can work from you name it. Anywhere there's power supply and there's internet, I can work from there. It's that simple, plain and simple. VoiceOver gives you that opportunity. It allows you to spend more time with your family. My wife and I happen to be, we both work from home, right? And while in public, we may not be seen as, you may not see us to be, we're not very big on PDA. PDA means public display of affection. We may not be very big on PDA, but back home, we know how we really get, with each other. And I get to spend time with my family. I I for one, I can't deal with Lagos traffic. It's crazy. It's draining. And VoiceOver has given me the opportunity to be able to work from anywhere I choose. Even if I had to travel today, I just take some tools with me, and I'll be good. VoiceOver has given me that opportunity. Now, voiceover industry is a multi-billion dollar industry. Sorry, I'm not using a slide or anything, so this is not, and I'm on, and this is not in a very structured format, but I'll just keep, dropping it for you and hopefully you pick something from it. But most importantly, I'm here to answer questions. I want to introduce you to the voiceover industry, the business of voiceover, but most importantly, I'm here to answer your questions, any questions you might have about this thing called voiceover. Now, the voiceover industry is a multi-billion dollar industry. I'll give you a few. Let me give you a few sectors, a few areas in voiceover, like the gaming industry. As of, it was said to be the gaming industry as of 2020 was worth $198 billion, but it's said to be, it is estimated, is expected to hit 339 billion by 2022, by 2025. And the animation industry as of 2020 was $370 billion. It's expected to hit 500 billion by 2030. And then there's the e-learning industry, which voiceover also plays a huge role in. The e-learning industry, as at 2022, no, sorry, 2020 still. Okay, it was 2022, was said to be worth $197 billion, but is expected to hit $840 billion by 2030. Now, voiceover plays a huge role in all of these areas. And might I even say that the big money in voiceover is in the gaming industry and animation. That's where you get the big bucks. The lots of money, yeah. But do we get well paid doing just do we get well paid doing commercials? Do we get well paid doing the regular stuff that people know? Absolutely. I, for one, I have been able to charge $400 repeatedly and above, delivering just 1 minute. In fact, one of them was less than a minute of voiceover from the confines of my home. Very possible. So voiceover gives you that opportunity to, for those, if you're looking for an alternative source of income, or you're looking for something that you can do, let's say you're a 9 to 5er and you're looking for something else you can do on the side, that could even turn out to become, that could potentially become the real hustle. I don't actually like using that word hustle, but yeah, I guess you know what I mean. So if you're looking for something that could potentially become the real gig, voiceover could be that thing for you if you're that person. So people ask me how to get into voiceover. Like I said, you can get in two ways. You can either get a coach or you can watch YouTube videos. Now, it's not really structured, and voiceover thing, I can say if you go that route, more often than not, it's the more you look, the less you see. It gets really confusing, gets really overwhelming. And as you can hear from, I have some videos out there that you might hear people say that people I have trained in the past. Um, so you get trained. The other route is you get trained by someone who actually does voiceover, who voiceover is the bread and butter. Um, Next up, you buy yourself a decent recording microphone. Now, the microphones that are recommended, the recommended microphones for doing voiceover are called condenser microphones. You get yourself a decent microphone, and of course, you should have a laptop to go with that. You get just any laptop. Now, any laptop can work. There are no specifications. Even if it's a desktop of the 90s, it can do this job. There are no specifications. So long as it can install very basic softwares, you're good to go. Um, Next, you create a demo. Once you have a demo, then you start finding VO work. Now, people come to my DM a lot of times and they're asking me for VO work, but it's like jumping the broom. I ask them one question, and there are others who come to me and they're like, whenever you have excess work, could you please send them over to me? It just tells me that somebody's not listening or somebody doesn't even know the basics of what this they don't even know the basics of this industry that they claim to be a part of. Another reason I'm doing this video, by the way, is because I get a lot of people who come to my DMs asking me questions that are too basic that you can literally find on Google. And they come to my DMs asking me these questions, and I ask them, do you have any form of training? Have you gotten any form of training in voiceover? And they say yes. They say so and so person coached me. And there are this bunch of people. In one post, I talked about people who have been made to believe that all you need to do voiceover is a smartphone and a good voice. So this kind of people come to my DM asking me questions that are just too basic. And if you've been coached, your coach should have been able to answer these questions. But okay, I'd rather not say this. Well, let me say it. I won't go deep. There are there are snake oil merchants out there. Some who tell you can start doing voiceover with your phone and charge 5,000, charge 10,000, and you're good. But voiceover is beyond that. If you're doing that from a place of, if you're doing that after you've been coached, then there's a problem because you don't really know the industry you're playing in and you don't know how big this industry is. Let me put it to you that way. You don't know the industry you're playing in and you don't know how big this industry is. As of 2017, there's an organization that helps us regulate certain things in the voiceover industry in Nigeria. And you have such organizations in every part of the world. So in Nigeria, that organization, as of 2017, the rate for the voiceover rate, the rate for voiceover for a minute of voiceover delivery as of 2017. Can anybody guess? If you can, drop it in your DM if you can guess. If you have an idea what that rate is. Anybody? I'd like to see. Okay, maybe I'm not seeing. Maybe I'm not seeing on my screen. But the point is, here's the thing. As of 2017, the voiceover rate for 1 minute starts anywhere from 40 to 50,000 naira and goes all the way to 80,000. But here you have some people who have been made to believe that just have a good voice and have a smartphone and you're good. You know what this is doing? It's watering down the value of what we do It's confusing people about what we do. And the thing is, you're no different with that kind of understanding, with that level of understanding, because you obviously don't have adequate information. The kind of voiceover you do is just as good as what AI does, and that's why it's really easy for people to want to go use AI voices instead of you. Even though you're charging 5,000 or 10,000 naira, they would still choose AI voice over you. It's because of you know inadequate information. People want to jump the broom. They just want to come to us. They just want to come to my DM and okay, and then I'll tell them, here's the job. Take the job, go do it. But I can't even recommend you if you're not if you don't know what voiceover entails in the first place. Voiceover stands on four legs. There's the business side of it. No, let's start with it. Let's do it in the right hierarchy. There's the talent side of it. Okay, there is the technical side of it. There is you understanding the business side of it, which, and I could also, in that business side of it, I could say you doing marketing. But how do you even market to people if you do not know the value of what you do? If you don't know, do you just tell people, let me record a voiceover for you? A voiceover, what will your voiceover do for them? What do they get for hiring you as a voiceover artist? Because the average person out there, the layman, thinks that is it not just to read, just and yeah, we do get people coming to us like that when we tell them the rates. In voiceover, we do a lot of educating as well. We do a lot of educating our clients. Um, we're going about. There are some clients you'd really have to tell what this is about and why you charge. Why we? It's. I don't always encourage having to explain your rates, but some people need it. You can tell that these people have no information. They like, but they've also met those people, those phone people, those people who use their phones, who would tell them bring 5,000, bring 3K. In fact, I saw somebody on Quora. He's just very ignorant. He said voiceover is 3,000 naira. Well, nobody who knows their onions in Nigeria, when it comes to voiceover, would tell you to pay 3,000 naira to do voiceover. It's it's a no-brainer. Like it's ridiculous to say the least. But there are people out there who don't have information, and they're the ones making the most noise. Can you blame them? Well, maybe not. A lot of us voiceover people, we've been too confined with being in our spaces and doing our thing and getting paid. A lot of us are just comfortable with it that way. Well, I started coming out more to talk about voiceover because one, clients, some of our clients don't know what we do. And when they ask us, is it not just to talk or is it not just to read? So we have to tell them the difference between the difference in what we do versus those people who have been reading for them, reading their scripts. We have to tell them the real difference between us. And so when you're marketing, I say this because it comes in handy when you're marketing. What do you tell your clients? I have a very fine voice. Let me just record something for you, and then you can pay me 80,000, or you can pay me 200,000. Guess what? Guess what? While I was on my way, no, while we're having the panel session in Dominating Business, while we're having the panel session, an old client reached out to me. I don't like sharing all of it. Okay, I'll share it for the benefit of I'll share it anyway. Let me go ahead and share it. I'm really tired, but let me share it. So this client reached out to me. He was even calling me. You know what? He's a repeat client. I did a job for him that he used for direct marketing, and it converted really well. And he's hiring me again for another one. This job is going to pay me nothing less than 180,000. It's not something I have to do for 5 days. It won't take me 5 days to deliver that job. Guess what? It won't even take me 48 hours to deliver that job. But I'm saying all of this to say that there's a difference. You can't just go about telling people. It's not just in a fine voice and using your phone. Matter of fact, recording with your phone, nobody's going to consider you to pay you serious money. So, to put this simply, if you want to do voiceover and do it well, okay, you'd have to go through, start out the right way, do it the right way. Yes, I know you want to hide under the excuse of, I do not have the money to buy gear. I do not, nobody wants to teach me. Well, I'll tell you what, I said it before that there are tons of resources. Can you be self-taught in voiceover? Is there such a thing as being self-taught? Absolutely, but it's not the easy route. I am 70% self-taught, but you see, I told you I started out since 2017. I only went full time in 2019. I lost a ton of money. I was ignorant. I was Things were really slow. But when I started investing in my voiceover training, things started taking a better turn. I also increased my earning big time, but there's never been a time I did 5,000, 10,000 naira in voiceover for anybody. There's never been a time I did that. If I ever wanted to do a thing like that, it would be just because I'm not charging you. I'm not considering it as though I'm charging you, but that just because is around 30,000, around 40,000. I'm saying this here now, so some people still reach out to me on Facebook thinking I do 8,000 hour voiceover. Sorry, I don't. And I don't feel sorry for it. I don't feel sorry. Um, this is not arrogance. I hope you get it. This is not arrogance. It's just that we know what we do. Any voiceover artist, any fellow voiceover artist who knows their onions will tell you the same thing. So no real voiceover artist will charge you 8,000 naira who knows their thing, who knows their game. So if you want to do voiceover the right way, if you want to really, how do you really um, make money from voiceover? How can you voice into money? Get trained, invest in the right gear, market yourself. What is your training doing for you? The training is showing you what really matters. The training, anyway, let me put it all in one box. The training helps you learn, teaches you what is voiceover performance, and shows you practical voiceover performance. The training should also show you what gear you need. Gear you need. Um, Now, I talked about starting buying a microphone. There are tons of microphones. Microphones go anywhere from $10, yeah, $10 to thousands of dollars. How do you know which microphones to buy for what you do? Um, it's part of what training helps you with. Um, how do you market your service as a voiceover talent, and where do you market your services? It's part of what training helps you with. So, well, let me pause for a moment. I'd like to take any questions if there be any. Um, it's already 9:46. I'd like to take any questions you may have because of the time, and then I'll share briefly. I'll share briefly for. I have an interesting opportunity for some people. For those who might be interested, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Let me state this. If I do not see questions, I will move on. Okay, I'm not seeing questions. Maybe it's from my end. I'm not sure. Okay, I see one. Can you train us? Okay, I'm getting to your question soon. Um, so because how do you get gigs? Okay, first of all, do you have a demo? I see. How do you get gigs? Do you have a demo? I told you. I said start out with start out by getting trained or watching a ton of videos, or yeah, start out by getting trained by a decent microphone. If you're still using your phone, you're not ready for voiceover. I'm sorry, but you're really not ready for voiceover. If you're still using your phone, I'm not insulting, I'm not attacking anybody. Okay. Um, how long does training on voiceover last? Training on voiceover, it can go from days to weeks to months. The truth is, voiceover is not something anybody can train you in one day. It's not something anybody can even train you in 2 days. Voiceover trainings are typically very expensive, runs into hundreds. An hour of voiceover coaching is about 100 to 150, $150 and above. And guess what? I've actually invested in those kind of coachings. And yeah, if you want an intensive voiceover coaching, some cost as much as $2,000, $3,000. I can say I don't want to be telling you how much I've invested in voiceover training on this live broadcast. Some things are just private. I don't want to share. Um, I also yeah, okay. So because from such trainings actually, you get good results too. You things really go like you see transformation in your voiceover business. It's real. I can say it because that has been my experience. So how long does voiceover training go? It can go from days to months, to weeks to months. Yeah, it depends. It depends on where you're going. It depends on who's coaching you as well. But I'll tell you this: there is actually no end to trainings in voiceover. You keep sharpening your skills. You keep training. Like, let me give you an example. In you may you may want to go into animation, right? You get coaching, like to do well in animation. Get coaching specifically on animation. You want to do well you want to do well in audiobook narration. You can get coaching for that. But you know what? There are trainings that help you start off, like the training I'm gonna have by next Friday. It's called Voice into Money. I have decided to organize. I started organizing this training since last year because I got tired of people coming to my DMs and asking me. Normally, when they come to me, I was just comfortable doing my voiceover work and getting paid for it because, like I said, I actually earn more doing my job than training people. Truth be told, training takes time. You'd have to plan, organize resources. You'd have to plan for days, spend hours like this. And my trainings every day literally goes from 1 to 2 hours each day, per day. But if I got a voiceover job, say I want to record 1 minute of commercial that could pay me even 350K, I could do that in less than. Now I have a solar power. I have a solar system in my house. Like my studio is solar powered, so I never have power issues. Right? I could do that in 2 hours, max 3 hours. And I'll tell you the interesting thing. I even have an audio editor who works with me. I could just send him that audio file, and he'll brush it up. So I can. Okay, I currently work as a telemarketer. Can I do voiceover? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, yeah. Now let me break this down. There are some industries that you're currently in that could make it easy to transition into voiceover. But even if you're not in any of those industries, it doesn't mean that you can't do voiceover. Like I said, any voice can do voiceover. So long as you can speak and people can hear you. So long as you can speak and people don't have to like what did you say? If people are not having to ask every time you speak to hear what you said, that means you can talk like a normal human being. And that means you can do voiceover. So uh, irrespective of whatever industry you're in. Although some industries, like I said, it's much easier from some industries. Now let me say this though. If being on radio doesn't make you a great voiceover artist, um, I've come to see over time, because I was on radio. I've also come to see over time that people in radio don't know so much about even the voiceover industry. They don't realize how much of a business it is. Voiceover in the voiceover industry, like people on radio. In fact, there's also something about. Let me tell you the difference between being on radio and being a voiceover artist. There's a difference. It might sound really insignificant, but it's still a big deal. And even when people are looking to hire voiceover talents in some platforms, they're still saying this: we don't want that announcery voice. Voiceover is a conversational thing, and a lot of radio people are still not getting it right in this aspect. You see why I said having a great voice is not enough. There's still more. There are some elements. There are certain elements. It may seem really simple, but it takes time to learn. It may seem really simple, but it takes time to learn, especially if you've been on radio for years. It takes time to break that, break out of that announcery voice. So let me backtrack to where I was. I started doing voiceover training. Normally, I'll be comfortable doing my job as a voiceover artist because I'm cool with just getting paid and being in my space, and you won't even hear a thing from me. You won't even see me on social media. But then people kept coming to my DMs and asking me tons of questions. And normally I just asking if I coach. Normally I just tell them I don't coach. No, I'm not available. But you see, I noticed that the more I kept telling these people I don't coach, they kept falling into this hands. Like I had someone who'd literally gone through 3 generations of this phone coaches, right? And after that, still could not answer. Like she was asking me some questions. I felt like the best way I could answer her questions was to ask her back just ask her some basic questions. You know, I was shocked that this person, after 3 generations of, is that right? Is that the best way to say it? Like 3 people have coached this person, 3 people on that level of using your phone to do voiceover have coached this person, but this person still does not know. Okay, I even asked the person, what's what's the highest you think you can charge for doing so and so job in voiceover? I was I was blown off my socks. It was way below the number of minutes I mentioned was way below what she said one could earn for the number of minutes I mentioned was way below what I told you is the official rate as of 2017 for a minute voiceover. So let me not go into much details. Let me leave. That's the conversation. There was a lot that went down in that conversation, but let me not delve into much details. So all of this were the wake up calls for me. When I was seeing this sort of things, I was getting really discomforted. And these people would keep coming back to me and asking me questions when I don't have the time to answer the questions. So the calls for coaching kept coming and coming and coming. And so I had one short free session, and I noticed that people were amazed. Like, I got this much value for free for, they'd been paying. I noticed that they'd obviously been paying for such things, and I know they didn't get as much value as they got in my free session. Then I had a private coaching session, and I've had the first cohort, first group coaching session, and the second. They've all been successful. And here's the third cohort. So, Voice into Money. Let me introduce you to Voice into Money. On the 20th of October, I'm having a training, and it's called Voice into Money. So, Voice into Money 3.0. It's the third edition of my group voiceover coaching. It's usually live on Zoom. You'd see my face more clearly. This is a bit dark. You see my face more clearly. You see my true complexion. You see, yeah, you hear me more lively. I'm really tired, but okay, bear with me. I've said that a lot. So you get to see me live. I share more. I share more of my about my journey, my success, my failures. Um, I'll share as much as I have learned over these years, as much as I've been using to prosper in the voiceover industry. I have gone from my journey in voiceover started with just a 5,000 naira microphone. Okay, this is not the table. There's another desk in my studio, another room across the hall, where I started off with that microphone, which I bought for 5,000 naira, and a borrowed laptop. By the way, I just got this laptop yesterday, and it looks like the same laptop I borrowed that crashed years ago. That laptop was borrowed from my pastor. With that 5,000 naira microphone and a borrowed laptop, I started off my voiceover journey. I'd gone from squatting to being able to rent a comfortable space in months. I went from squatting to being able to rent a comfortable space in months. Is that proof that this thing pays? I'm sure you have the answers. So I've been doing voiceover full time. I can't share so much about where I came from. There was a time I was doing, I was working for an organization before I even got to know like what this is all about. There was a time I worked for an organization um, that was paying me 30,000 naira a month. Back then, I don't like traffic. I would trek from that place to my house, and my shoes literally peeled off on it. But when I left, I started my voiceover business. I got my clients, and I got another client. At some point, I was voicing for over 6 YouTube channels back to back. You know what I used to do? I literally just in within a week or two, I would have finished my deliverables for the month, and I'm just waiting for the end of the month to get my pay from this the people behind those channels. And that's how I built up my voiceover business to this point. I've I've been living on voiceover money. It's the one way I have known to make money since 2019. Let me put it that way. Voiceover is the only way I've known to make money since 2019. I'm only getting to step out now and do things like event hosting. You know why? Because it gives me the opportunity to connect with people. I get to step out of my house, and yeah, I also make money. Another way to, give expression to this gift of gab that I have been given. And but voiceover is first on the list. And so, Voice into Money 3.0 is a training that has been designed to help you jumpstart your voiceover career the right way. Show you, it'll show you what you need to get started in voiceover. It's the foundational knowledge. It's beyond the foundational knowledge, actually. It's the foundational knowledge and more and beyond to help you get started in voiceover. Teach you everything from voice acting to the gear to the business. We'll cover virtually every aspect. So you discover how to polish your voiceover performance in this training. You learn how to record using a free software and how to edit that audio. There's not a, by the way, there's not only one way to make money from voiceover. Some people in this industry don't even have any business with voicing anything. All they do is write copy. Some people, all they do is edit audio. I told you, I have someone who works with me, and all he does is edit my voiceover recordings. And by the way, it's not voiceover recording is not necessarily something every music producer can fix. The first people are not always, you see, I talk about this more in my trainings because of time. I cannot fully delve into this and explain it as much as I would love to, but I talk about things like this more during my training. So I'm saying all this to say there's not only voicing is not the only way we make money from voiceover. So in this training, you're going to learn how to easily record your audio and process it using a free software professionally. So it's beyond what you do with your phone. Now, I'm not attacking those of you who use your phone, but I'm just trying to tell you that you can't stay that way. Some of you can actually afford to buy the basic gear that is needed for voiceover. You'd be amazed. But you've been told otherwise, you've been conditioned otherwise, and so you can't see beyond that. I've had sessions, coaching sessions where my students went from, oh, like I didn't know that I could just I didn't even think that I needed this tools. I thought I was just comfortable with the phone. And they upgraded even before the training ended. I've had it happen twice. So the point is, I'm not attacking you for using your phone, but it's the mindset. Some of you don't have any plans to upgrade, and some of you don't have any plans to. You can't see voiceover beyond 5,000, 10,000 naira, and that's a problem because voiceover is more than that. Voiceover is of more value than that, and it should fetch you more than that actually. And it's true that some Nigerian clients may not really get the value. They may not working with some Nigerian clients. They don't tend to appreciate the value. The same service that I'm charging over 200,000 naira for that I can deliver within the 24 hours, I charge a foreign client almost 4 times that amount. But even though I'm in Nigeria, even though I'm working with Nigerian clients, 5,000, 10,000 is a joke. And in fact, here's the bigger concern. You doing you is affecting others because you're giving the wrong impression about our industry. And it's just, there's everything wrong with that. There's everything wrong with that. You're giving the wrong impression about this industry of ours. People pour in their hearts, their minds, people pour in money, people invest money into this, but you're out there, you see it as just a mere 5,000, 10,000 hour hustle. No, there's everything wrong with that. So now, can you join my training even though all you have is a phone? Yes, you can, but I will show you that you cannot be there for long. And I will show you practical ways that practical steps you can actually take to graduate from that point, to upgrade from that point. And this is actually, matter of fact, this is the first time I'll be willing to allow someone come in, you know, who thinks that they could possibly start with a phone because there's a software that was released around January, and that's the first time I can recommend such a software. But keep it at the back of your mind that voiceover is more than that, and you would need to upgrade. You'd need to. I would point you to. I'll point you to the basic gear that you would need to do, to deliver top-notch voiceover. Voiceover that can be played across any platform in the world. No questions asked. So, Voice into Money training will show you how to position yourself as a reliable and result-oriented voiceover talent. You'll learn how to deliver according to clients' expectations, how to set up a low-budget home studio. This is what I've been hammering on. You will discover how to get paying clients, high-paying clients, especially. And also, for the first 20 people who will register, there are interesting bonuses. For the first time in my voiceover trainings, I'm going to be doing a 30 days challenge. The goal of this 30 days challenge is to help you possibly land your first or even second and third and fourth gig. The goal is to help you recoup your investment. The truth is, by the time you make your first or second, you land your first or second gig, you'll soon start to see that the money you're going to pay for this training is peanuts. So for the first time this year, I'm having that 30 days challenge. For the first time this year, I'll be giving away my voiceover resource kit. This resource kit is to help you keep growing. It is going to point you to resources that will help you keep growing in the voiceover space. Not only that, who to talk to, where to find work, but it's one thing to know how to find work, but it's another thing to know who you should be talking to specifically, who you should be talking to. Very key, when it comes to marketing, voiceover, marketing and voiceover. Yeah, it's very crucial that you know who to talk to. My resource kit points you to all of this and more. There's a lot for you in my resource kit, and that's, if I'm when I release that resource kit, if I decide to sell it, it'll be worth 5,000 naira. It'll be worth more than that, but the price on it would be 5,000 naira. It would be worth far more than 5,000 naira, but I'll just put a price of 5,000 naira on it. And also, for the first time this year, somebody will stand a chance to win a microphone. Why am I doing this? Maybe for that one person who may not be able to afford, genuinely cannot afford a microphone to start off. Maybe you get a chance to win a microphone and actually start off the right way. You will have access to over a month of mentorship. You will join my voiceover alumni group, and those are the bonuses for you. Those are the bonuses for you. There's a lot more. And also, for the first time this year, I'll be issuing certificates to participants of this training. For the first time this year, I'm also giving you the video playback, but it's going to be for a limited time. So in this training, there are limited slots, and it's not for everybody. If you want to get started in voiceover, if you're looking for a side gig, or you've really been wanting to do this voiceover thing, but not sure how to get started, I'm giving you an opportunity to join my training and actually learn how you can get started in voiceover the right way. Learn the skills you need, and learn about the right tools you need to get started. I teach you practical knowledge. I built my studio from scratch, and it's from lots and lots of experience. Building a studio can be very expensive, but I built a studio for almost less than 1/3 of the price, because of all the research and experiments I've done over the years. I teach you how to set up your low budget home studio. I'm one of the few who do that in my trainings. Um, yeah. So now, for this training, the training cost is 50,000 naira. By the way, let me set the record straight. The training cost is 50,000 naira, but for those of you who have attended this live webinar, I'll be giving a discount from now till 12 p.m. on Monday. I'll be giving you a discount. You can pay 40,000 naira. And after 12 p.m. on Monday, the price will revert back to 50,000 naira. So over more than 12 people have already entered this training. My last count, over 14 people are already in for this training. So if you would like to come on board and join us for a transformational voiceover experience, I invite you to sign up for Voice into Money 3.0, and let's make it happen. I really would like to work with certain people. I would like to work with some of you to point you in the right direction in your voiceover journey. If you think that this is what you've been looking for, join us for Voice into Money 3.0, and let's make it count. I'm open to questions now. More questions? Must you patronize studios to get your voiceover work done? Yeah, if you don't have, that's commendable. Actually, it's better than using a phone. Yes, I share that as an option. You can work with a studio, there's a way to share the profit. It's far more commendable than actually even using a smartphone to record. And I show you how you can use the same approach even if you don't have a studio to work on your first few gigs and make money from it. That could even help you set up your own studio. Yes, it's better. It's, like I said, I'm not saying it's a must, but it's far better than using a smartphone. How much is the cost? This training is worth 50,000 naira. It's going for 8 days. live, and 7 p.m. daily. So the training is 50,000 naira. And like I said, okay, the link will be displayed. I believe my assistant is somewhere around there. I'm sure she will drop the link for you to join the WhatsApp group. For those of you who would like to take advantage of the discount, it's 40,000 naira. Okay, from now till Monday, 12 p.m. on Monday, and after that, no more. The price goes back to 50,000 naira. By the way, it's only for those in Nigeria. Sorry, for those in Nigeria alone. If you're in Nigeria, you can pay 40,000 naira. Yeah. How many days did you say the training will take? It's 8 days, 8 nights, 8 nights like this, nights like this. Yeah, 8 of them. And also, by the way, I forgot to mention that there's also a diction section. Diction is also a very important aspect of voiceover. And now it's not about acquiring any particular kind of accent. Get this straight. It's another misconception about voiceover. People think you have to have certain kinds of accent. You have to have British or American accent. You don't need no British accent. You're just fine, but you need good diction as well to come along with that voice of yours, no matter how smooth or how very normal, very. I don't. There are no bad voices actually. Yeah, so it'll hold for 8 nights, and then you're still part of my alumni group, and of course there's still mentorship session going on for about a month. So the learning never really ends. The learning keeps going on for a while. Mention the types of voiceover again. Okay, I said radio, TV commercials, audiobooks, e-learning, ADR, voice of God. Um, let me. I have my. It's a list. I don't have the list all up the top of my head. It's too many. There's just too many to mention. But I can tell you this for free. It's more than 3 dozens. 3 dozens are actually too small. Um, so it's more than 3 dozens. Any other question? Documentaries are part of it. Um, Animation. Can someone outside Nigeria? Absolutely. I had last year. I had participants from Cameroon, from the UK. Absolutely. It's a virtual training. It's a virtual training. So yes, you can. But like I said, this discount is only for those in Nigeria. So if you're not in Nigeria, you pay the normal price. The price. If you're paying in dollar, it's $99. But if you want to pay in naira, if you have somebody who can pay for you in naira, it's 50,000 naira. So, but for those of you in Nigeria, I have a discount for you. It's 40,000 naira. How can we pay for it? Uh, just click on the link to join that WhatsApp group. Click on the link to join that WhatsApp group. I'm sure you'd have it displayed by now. But if not, you can still go to my. I'm sure you can go to my my page, my profile, and maybe my assistant could pin it on the most could put paste the link as a comment on the most recent post. So you can join that WhatsApp group and get the account detail, or better still, you could just. I'm sure somewhere on my. I have lots of posts. You can easily click on the seller link, and you still find account details there, or you pay directly through seller. Any other question? Okay, I do not see any other question other than Daphne Chiamaka. Or is it just from my end? I noticed that so even when I asked questions earlier on, it seemed like I maybe maybe some questions are not popping up. So if you have any other questions, bring them on. Let me see if I can. So get this straight. What's the name of your page? The name is my name right here. I'm sure you're seeing the name displayed. It's my name, Donley Uche, the Donley Uche. So yeah. So get this straight. VoiceOver is not a get rich quick scheme, but it does pay well. All right. So um, it's not MMM. All right. Let's get that straight. It's not a get rich quick scheme. but it does pay well. And of course, you'd have to put in the work. So don't expect that the jobs will just fall on your lap. My job will be to teach you how to do voiceover, teach you the tools you need for it, and also show you how to get voiceover jobs. Yeah, I thought I should put it out there. So I don't want to be working with people who have the get rich quick mentality. I do not have that energy. I can't deal. Any other question? What's the name of your page? Okay, that's still what I see. My page is Danley Uche, the voicemail. It's on Facebook here. You can find it. Oh, I recognize that some of you are watching from other platforms other than Facebook. I recognize that now. So that's it. You find me on Facebook. I'm most active on Facebook for now. I'm still trying to figure out some of the platforms. And yeah, with time, we'll be all over the place. Thank you. Any other question? Is VoiceOver useful for personal online instruction? Uh, Personal online instruction. I want to somehow, I feel like I understand the question, but then I'm not sure I understand the question. So maybe you can rephrase. But if this is what you mean, can you use VoiceOver for personal online instructional content? If that's your question, then the answer is yes. By the way, as a business owner, you can also learn this skill and use it to tell better stories for your brand. Do you know that by 2024, next year, what the trend, especially on the platforms like Instagram, can it be used for absolutely good voiceover is crucial. Like I said, e-learning is part of courses. VoiceOver plays a key role in e-learning, and people enjoy watching your courses better when the voiceover is great. Uh, Sometimes, okay, I don't want to mention those countries. There are some countries you buy courses from, and the you can't deal with the accent, the poor pronunciations, even from some Nigerian course creators. Yes, so it's not just pronunciations, but also the flow. It's just not interesting to keep you going. So voiceover, absolutely. The answer is a big yes, 110%. That's from Dennis Igbe. Okay, I got it. Any other question? Can it be okay? Still, can it be used for creating personal online courses? Uh, I'm guessing
All
there are
right.
some questions I'm just not seeing. Okay.
I think the questions are done. Beautiful
Okay.
presentation. Thank you so much, Darley, for this great presentation. We have done 1 hour and 10 minutes. And thank you so much. And to those who are able to join, I don't know the link, but guys, I think I placed the WhatsApp group link. You can join the WhatsApp group link. Or if, I don't know, Darley, if there is a direct link that they can click and join. Or when we are done with the live
Yes, there.
stream, apply your the post to be on my timeline, and then you can reach out to all the individuals who are asking. I mean, your PA can reach out to individuals who are asking one by one, and then get them the link to sign up if that's the case. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Donley. It was great seeing you again today. Amazing work that you're doing. Thank you for
Thank you.
ushering us today into greatness at the event with your voice. Thank you so much. I'm
It's
glad
a
to have
pleasure.
done
Sir.
this tonight, despite the two of us are fagged out from today's event. But we're glad that we had made this
Really
happen.
like
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. I look forward to amazing people that you're building and raising and all the amazing stuff you're doing with your voice. All right, guys. Here we call it a day for tonight. on this live stream. Thank you so much for being part of this. I look forward to other amazing conversations in the days to come. Good night, everyone.
Good night, people. All right. Good